a lot of ups, a lot of downs, ins, outs. But in the midst of that, I'm just going to assume you made some great relationships. Talk to us a little bit about the NBA life, and because you hear this thing now where NBA players are seen as soft per se because they got relationships with other NBA players. Can you talk to us a bit about how real NBA life is?
Well, I wish that our era was like, because these cats, like in the summertime, I get to speak to all the young fellas. I'm one of the vets that they bring in to do the player development meetings at the summer league in Vegas. So I'm 1,000 with them. I tell them the ups and the downs and those highs and lows and everything that comes with it, the outside influences, what you got to watch for, all of that. And you got to be vulnerable when it comes to that situation because they can smell bullshit. You know what I mean? You got to tell them the truth.
Yeah.
So while doing that, I had a chance to talk to Pat Connaughton this past summer. And to know that him and Grant Williams from the Celtics, these guys do business together. They do real estate together. Pat Connaughton makes more money in real estate than he does playing basketball. He doesn't even have to use his NBA money at all.
Wow.
So I wish we had people that talked to us and did business with us like that back then, because those who were close to the owners and the knowledge that they had, they kind of kept it to themselves.
Wow.
They didn't, I mean, because I'm one of those guys that I'm a firm believer that there's enough for everybody. You know what I mean? Once you get to a certain level of financial, there's enough for everybody. So why, when you're putting your arm around me, you're not telling me these things? Forget basketball. I'm trying to, I may not make the money you make in basketball, but I have a chance of doing it off the court.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with endorsements. This has everything to do with the right business decisions and what to do business-wise. Because a lot of us don't have business savvy.
Right.
We just come in here as hoopers. Right.
The league didn't have that set up, like how you come back and talk to players where they're not older players coming back and talking when you came into the league?
Well, they did, but it's like they only give you that, like, okay, here's the financial advisors you need to talk to, and here's this and that, and this is what goes on in the league and the business of basketball in the league. But I want to know what business is. Like they have it available now because dudes are talking to each other. LeBron got his camp, and he teams up with D Wade and Carmelo and Chris Paul, and they do their thing. It's like that did not happen in our era, because dudes was like I could probably say maybe 2 or 3 guys may have done that in our era. It might have been Magic, Isaiah, and Mark Aguirre, because they, that Midwest area, and they all close. They were thick as thieves. When I was a kid, my brother was in Magic's basketball camp that was in Pasadena. Isaiah, Mark, and Rolando Blackman came, and they hung out for that whole week. So it would make sense to me that they're not just friends and hanging out and hooping and working out. There had to have been some type of business relationship there too. You know what I'm saying? So they're probably the only ones that I saw the possibility of also doing that. I couldn't. Nobody pulled my coattails talking about business.
Why did you think that's frowned upon, though? Because it's almost seemed as a negative for the new NBA, as they call it.
Well, I mean, they don't like seeing guys hug it out on the court, which I understand the competitiveness. You want to make sure everybody on your team is ready for war when you cross those lines.
Yeah.
But when the game is over, why not? Game is over.
You shaking the hand of a guy who just beat you, or you just beat him, and you telling him, man, congratulations, man, good game, man, way to compete.
Yeah. And you're gonna see me next time. You know, you're
Yep.
gonna see me again. You're gonna see me next game. But in the process, so how are you doing to as far as generational wealth? Because you may not be making what this guy is making. What are you doing outside of basketball to grow your shit?
Yeah.
It's like that wasn't a conversation in my era.
You know who Isaiah Thomas told us, who said is like a great businessman, like own a company, steel company, I think, out of Vinnie Johnson, the microwave.
Vinnie Johnson's microwave is making more than he ever made playing basketball. Way more.
Yeah.
Karl Malone has a trucking company.
Mm-hmm.
Old school. Went to Louisville. Oh man, played for Milwaukee. Ooh.
He went to Louisville?
Yeah. His name is slipping my mind right now, but he's probably the richest basketball player.
Oh, Junior Bridgman.
Junior Bridgman owns tons of shit.
Yeah.
Like food restaurants, food franchises, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
tons.
like over 600 restaurants and stores. Yeah.
Right. Junior Bridgman is killing it.
His sons is he's groomed his sons to come work for the family business. I think it's called Bridge Foods.
Hey, he is killing the game.
Yeah.
Killing the game. Like, think of what they were making back then. That was before our era. That was before me coming in with Shaq and Shaq making $100 million.
Right.
Like, they weren't making a lot.
I mean, if you think about it, when Mike first got into the league, I think his contract was like $600,000. They thought that was too much.
See, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, the great Wes Unseld, God rest his soul, he told me they won a championship. And after the championship was over, their bonus was a washer and dryer. And then they had, their bonus was a washer and dryer. And then they had to go to work after that. They had to go to work.
But see, I think that's one of the misconceptions too. And I think that's why there's like this gap. Because my question for you now is, do you think these guys should be considered soft, this new NBA? Because it's not their fault that they're in a time and an era that, they don't have to go work after the NBA finals or once the season is over. I mean, they're making, tens of millions. The last man on the bench is getting probably $5-6 million a year.
More than I ever made. Yeah.
So it's like, that guy isn't upset. That guy isn't mad that you just put 24 on him.
Right. But see, this is the thing. Like, the era before us was making less. And I consider them, some of their guys greater than us. It's like, the Isaiahs, the Birds, the Magics, greater than us. And then the era before them, the Kareem and Dr. J's and the George Gervins, greater than us. You're talking top 75 dudes. Like, they were making chump change when it came to the game.
And they were stars.
And they were stars. And back then it was probably good money because of the cost of living. But the way dudes is getting it now, it's like our era can't be mad at their era because those dudes, they paved the way for us.
They paved the way. Yeah.
We paved the way for them. And you can't get mad at them because of the rule changes.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say this guy can't play in our era because of this, that, and the other. Well, the rules changed.
Yeah.
Maybe they could.
And let's not forget the TV contract money.
Out of this world. That TV contract money is out of here. It's out of here. So they have to pay the players, right? And what us as retired players gotta hope is that, okay, they're getting all this money. maybe they can trickle some of that down to the Retired Players Association.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just hope that happens. But you can't hate on them getting their money.
Are you part of the NBA Retired Players Association, Tracy?
Yes, I am. I'm not on the board or anything, but I'm a part of it. Yeah.
But you're a part of it, yeah, because their headquarters is here in Chicago.
Yep, the Chi. Yep. This is what I'm gonna have to talk to somebody about this because I think this is important. They talk trash about our era and how guys was making money and how guys were broke and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But no one talks about the lockout. No one.
Oh yeah.
Like I lost easily 2.6 in the lockout. Easily. No, more than that. I about 3.2 in the lockout.
And so that lockout was between what year? What years?
That was the 2000 year.
Yeah, the 2000.
That was the year that the Spurs. Yeah, that was the year the Spurs
like
had the short champ. Yeah, that year. Like at the end of the day, most of us didn't want to do that shit. So why should we lose money on some bullshit? Because it's like the guys at the top are going to recoup as soon as their checks start. They got $1 million or so coming right off the get, but not us, not the mid to low, and we just got done eating up our bank account, and there's like a bunch of money that you're not getting from your contract.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I want to talk to somebody about. How do we get that money back? There's too much money running around right now, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So those monies were never recouped.
Never.
It wasn't. I mean, I wonder who was the president of the CBA at that time, and why didn't they have some type of structure in that? They should have had some type of structure to weigh y'all could get that money back. Like that had to be talked about in there, where we just like the money just sitting over here and we ain't gonna talk about it. Like, what do you mean? Like that money need to be paid out to some people, and it had to be structured within the contract to be divvied out some type of way. Like these are business people.
Right. Like, so when we heard that there was a possibility of a lockout, what they started doing was taking our licensing money and putting it in the kitty. Right. But that's just, that's still not enough. Right. It's only a licensing check, right?
Yeah.
So there should have been something in the negotiation, or even current negotiations, where, look, there are cats that are not doing well because y'all snatched a lot of money from them back in the day.
Yeah.
Like if they're paying ABA guys some back pay from back in the day or whatever. Like I heard the old ABA guys got some money that came in.
They did. And it's it's real money. They didn't get
real money.
Yeah, they getting real money. I think it's over.
Why can't we get ours back?
Right. And
I'm not asking for more. Just give me mine back.
You know who was the NBA president at that time during the 98-99 NBA lockout? That was the third lockout of 4 in the history of the NBA. It was Billy Hunter.
Billy Hunter, yeah.
Yep.
I just, the whole thing, man. I just think labor stuff. You got people that are playing both sides of the fence. Mm-hmm. I just think that people are in bed with each other that are supposed to be on opposite sides. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion of it. I might be way off. I might be wrong.
When you say that,
that's just my feeling about it.
But so you're saying there's folks from the Players Association in bed with players from the NBA side.
This is just what I thought. And as I say again, I might be totally off with it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I just think that there was a show put on for the camera. Because, Billy and David act like they hated each other. right?
Mm,
But how are you going to get a deal done if you hate each other?
Yep.
you're right.
I just think
You're right.
that there was a act put on in front of the camera. And I think
Gotcha.
behind the camera, I thought they were cool. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's just my goal with it. I just, as I say again, I don't want to claim people weren't doing their jobs or anything, but there's a lot of guys that lost a lot of money.
Yeah, you think about it. They were the proposal that Billy Hunter gave them the first time. The owners rejected it. They shot it down, but then they signed it where they put a cap on the players' salaries between $9 million to $14 million, depending on how long they played in the NBA.
Right. Yep.
So how can you cap? You ain't gonna put no cap on the owners.
No, not at all. And that's always been the argument. And that's always been the narrative that was pushed in the media was these millionaires and billionaires up here arguing, and the fans are losing out on seeing the game. Now, I'm like, shit. Like I said earlier, in business, there's more for everybody. It's enough for everybody. So why are we doing it? And it all came down to basketball-related income.
Yeah, and that's when they said they introduced the rookie pay scale was introduced with salaries increases tied to how early a player was selected in the NBA on NBA draft day. And then they still got I didn't know there was a Larry Bird exception.
The Larry Bird exception. Yep.
Crazy.
Didn't they have was that our lockout or the lockout after us where they had the veteran minimum? Because
that's after you guys.
Yeah, that was after you guys.
That screwed a lot of veterans. A lot of good veterans that was left to get paid a nice salary for that 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, they were like, nah, you out of here. We'll bring that young boy up. That got a lot of veterans messed up.
Wow.
Well, let me ask you this, man. When it comes to the NBA, do you think it is progressing in a good way, or we're just missing some things?
I think where it's going, the way they market the game, how much money they're making, it's going in the right direction because eventually the kids are going to benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? So the business is thriving. It's thriving. It's no matter how many faults you find within the cracks of the business, it's still the best business in the world to be a part of.
Yeah.
You're doing something you love to do and you're getting paid for it, right? It's not really a job because you'll do this for free. So regardless of some of the complaints and some of the, I call bad business dealings with the lockouts and stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
It's still the best job in the world and the best job to be a part of, man. And everybody still dreams of being there, So they're doing something right for everybody to still want to be having a hoop dream, right? They're marketing it better. The money is out of this world. The visibility is global. So they're doing their thing, man. The business and what Adam is doing, it's out of this world, man. He's really taking this thing to another level.
Dude, hey, Tracy, let me ask you, what was y'all role per diem?
Role per diem. It depended on the spot, on where we were.
For real?
And it also depended on because of the how big, like how expensive the place is. Like New York is more expensive than Texas. California is more expensive than Texas. And it's also it also depended on how long the road trip was. Like if it was a 2-day road trip, it might be a couple $100, maybe $200-$300. If it was a 10-dayer, it'd be north of 1,000, So yeah. And what people don't understand about the per diem, this is where people get the misconception with the per diem. It's still money coming out of your check.
Really?
Get the fuck out of here.
What?
It's money coming out of your check. Yeah.
What?
It's not.
So they're just advancing you. They're just advancing you.
Yeah, it's just some money coming out your check for per diem. Yeah. Now the people that don't have a contract, they're winning. You know, they get some extra money for being there on top of maybe signing a contract to come to camp and maybe getting a little something.
Gotcha.
Right. So
Wow.
but of course, you know, I know they don't consider it winning when they want that real contract. You know what I'm saying? So I might have misworded it the wrong way, but yeah, I mean, per diem is part of your contract.
Will, they say it's $150 per player now.
Man, I'm still sitting up here. I'm
Was this
blown
per
by the
day?
fact.
$150 per player per day.
Yeah, that's because that money is out of this world.
Yeah.
Well, one thing they ain't shy on is the money. Let's jump into your time in Washington, man. You spent 4 years there. How was it playing with the young cats, Juwan, Chris? I mean, y'all at that you talked about it earlier. Y'all did have that whip. Y'all, I mean, if you think about it, it took Mike being Mike really to beat you guys. Because I mean,
yeah, we hung in there. I mean, they swept us, but it was a hard sweep. It wasn't easy. And Mike even gave us props, you know, on the post-game, post-series interview that they pulled him to the side on. And he's like, this is a really good team. They're young, you know, a team of the future. But it's like a couple years later, they dismantled it. And I'm still sitting here wondering why.
That? Yeah. So you don't know what happened with that.
Well, Tracy, how did you get to Washington from Toronto? Because just think, you had a ball, you balled out, you averaging 22, and you just went to Toronto for 1 year. How did that get from there to Washington and even play with them guys?
So I was a free agent again, and because of the rules, I wasn't going to be able to get what I want with Toronto. I would have had to stay there another 2 years to sign the deal that I signed with Washington.
Wow.
Now let's look a couple of years into the future, right? If Isaiah left, he wasn't there anymore. Damon Stoudemire wasn't there anymore. Me and him was a 1-2 connection. So I probably wouldn't have got that check. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, I was in contact with Isaiah throughout my free agency. Like, I was begging him, like, yo, is there anything we can do for me to stay up? Like, I established myself as a pro. Off the court, I was doing commercials. I was doing appearances. I was a co-chairman of charities. I was doing all kinds of stuff up there. Like, I was loving life up there. You know, that was the first organization and fan base that just wrapped their arms around me. You know what I'm saying? So who wants to leave that?
Right. And after what you done been through for the first, 3, 4, 5 years, you get here and you like, this can't be happening again.
So what happened was I signed a 7-year deal with Washington, and I was in touch with Isaiah the whole time. He said, look, T, we in this business to take care of our families, take care of your family. So it was the hardest thing to do, but I heard it from my big brother, take the money and run. So that's what I did. I took the money and ran, and then it goes from a fairy tale 1 year to back to reality.
Back to reality.
I was treated a certain way in this organization. Now it's back to the way I was being treated before with this organization.
So you land in Washington. So, who the owner is? That Abe?
Abe Poland. Yep.
Abe Poland. He's the owner of the Washington Wizards. And you walk in and they got who? Juwan Howard, Chris Webber.
So this is the crazy thing. Juwan had just signed a deal with Miami Heat. For like 105. But his deal got null and voided after I signed with Washington, because I signed there to be a starter. His deal went null and void, so he ended up coming back to Washington.
Damn.
100 for like 100 and 101, 105, something like that. So now I get delegated back to the bench, which I didn't want to do. You know what I mean? And it like how can that happen? It's almost like there was always something to keep me in place, keep me in check. You know what I mean? It's
Wow.
like, okay, I'm thinking I'm going to start. I'm thinking things are going to be good for me individually. Now I go right back to the bench. So I come into that situation feeling a certain way because I felt like I was lied to in a way. You know, it's like there was no way I could pull out of that deal and sign the Laker deal now that I could have signed. You know, it's like I had a chance to sign for 6 years with LA or 7 years for Washington, the same deal. I knew I wasn't going to start in LA. I knew I wasn't going to start in LA, but Washington, I felt like I was going to start. And then Juwan come back. So I'm like, wow, you know. But, you know, Jay is cool, man. Jay's first class. You know what I mean?
Did you suck it up and be a professional about it and was like, oh, I'm just
hey, I had my check. So I you know, I'm not gonna give it back.
Did,
you know,
did your pops come up there and watch you play? Like, what did you know? Was he that by your side to keep you level headed and like, son, I understand.
Well, he had to fly in from time to time. That was the time that Cam was going through his stuff in Louisville, so he had to fly to. So yeah. I mean, there was you know, my pops racked the air miles up that year.
That's what's up.
Yep.
So you do 4 years in Washington.
Yeah.
And then you head up
and had some success
Denver.
there. Like that first year, we went to the playoffs. I averaged 18 a game off the bench against them. So there was some success there. I had a 50-point game my third year there.
As a matter of fact, you used to make me mad though. Because y'all going to get, because you know, man, we hometown Chicago Bulls. So that series when they put you in, I'm like, oh man, they got Calvert Cheney there. Now they finna put in Tracy Murray. Okay, now they got another shooter, and I'm looking like, who we bringing off the bench? We ain't got nobody.
But you know what?
That's giving us Tracy type numbers.
Y'all had that three-headed monster though, Scotty, Mike, and Dennis, and then you had Ron Harper. Harp was you know, he's like a big brother of mine too. Harp was the unsung hero of that squad. I watched the series, the doc, right? And I'm like, why the hell aren't they talking about Ron Harper?
Yeah.
That was my question about the whole doc series. Why aren't you talking about Ron Harper?
That's crazy.
He was a big part of that team. There were sometimes he guarded the best player. You know, you want to give MJ a break. You know, Ron got on. And then Ron will fool around and give you those numbers too when M was out of the game. It's like, you know, you knew what you was getting. You're getting consistency out of Scotty every night. You know what you're getting from Dennis, but you needed that third scorer. He was the third scorer. He was a lockup guy. It's like, how can you not mention Ron Harper but twice in that doggone 10 series docuseries? I don't get it.
You know, it's interesting you bring it up. And man, shout out to Ron Harp because
Harp, what up?
He never said one thing about it either though, man.
Nope. He stayed quiet about it.
You don't hear him on nobody's sites.
He don't have to say anything. I'll say it for
him. Yeah. Hey man, I didn't know the Lakers hired you as a shooting coach before.
Yep. So
they need you right now. Shit.
Hey, which one? To play? They need
you right now.
Yo, so how that came about was after the league was over, you know, I did the Denver, I did the year with the Lakers, I did my last year with Portland. So I started and ended my career in Portland. Mm-hmm. I did 3 years overseas, and then after overseas, I was like, okay, you know, another mental health situation, a career ending. A career ending is like a death or something. It's like a death of a career, right?
Yeah, shocking.
So yeah. and you're dealing with people that you used to talk to that ain't talking to you anymore, doors that were open that are nailed shut. It's like you're dealing with all of that bullshit, right? So it's like, there was one day I was in the house and, I'm in a nice house and a nice home in Beverly Hills. I got my shades down, in the bed, feeling sorry for myself, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my pops drove from his house that was 45 minutes away and kicked in my door. It's like, man, what are you doing? 36 years old, 35, 36 years old. You got your life ahead of you, bro. Get your ass out of the bed and go make something happen. Find out what you want to do. Call UCLA and see, some of the things that you can do that interest-wise. Call people. Get on the phone. Like, network. Like, try to get your ass up and do something. So what I did was I took a broadcast. UCLA told me to take a broadcast class because I was like, okay, whatever's going to hit first, it's going to either be broadcasting or coaching. And everybody and their mama want to coach.
Mm-hmm.
I did 3 years in the G League with the Bakersfield Jam. My old college coach, Jim Herrick, hired me, and I was on staff. I was on staff with him, Sean Rooks, and there was a couple other people too. And then I was taking a broadcast class at the same time. So I was going from Bakersfield to Santa Monica, doing both, trying to learn the craft and work with youngsters. So after my third year, Coach Herrick is let go. A new coach comes in, trims the fat, brings his people, and I was like, okay, this is going to be my last year doing this. And I didn't see anything moving fast enough in the coaching area, right? So I jumped in and started doing part-time UCLA men's basketball, which, you get paid for that one. But I was honing my craft with the women's basketball side because and they don't pay you for that. So I was doing that just to work on my craft.
Work on your craft. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I was still doing both, finishing up that last year G League and then that. Then that summer, I went and did Basketball Without Borders with the NBA. We went to Africa. We went to Mozambique, did a clinic with the Hall of Famer Teresa Edwards, and then we went over to Johannesburg and did the big camp with all the talent theaters, right? And when I came back, Teresa was already the assistant coach of the Tulsa Shock. They had let go Nolan Richardson. So she became the head, and she called me in to do a year or a season of the WNBA. So I went over there with her to do the Tulsa Shock. So we had a Cheryl Swoops that was at the end. Tiffany Jackson was an all-star that year. God rest her soul. She just passed away this past year with cancer. And we had a young Liz Cambage.
Wow.
So Liz is like, Liz is like my daughter, man, because, she was like 18 years old at the time. And she's young, unprofessional, away from home, like want to go home, don't want to be there. You know what I mean? So I had to like put my arm around her, you know what I mean?
Right.
And just try to be like a positive mentor for her as well as a coach and try to work with her on and off the court to just try to get her mind right because she's talented and she's got a lot that she can do in the game. And when she was having her mental health issues, they would always, like her teammates would be like, "Daddy, come talk to your daughter." So I would go talk to her and just try to make things right and talk it out with her and that's how our relationship became good. She's like a daughter of mine, really. Like we talk from time to time when she was in Vegas. I have a home in Vegas, and we went to a few of her games. She looked out with the tickets and stuff for my family and everything, and so I became good friends with Liz, and so that experience was cool, and I learned a lot,
Man, she's come a
on
long
this
way,
side.
man.
Yeah,
She's come a long way.
I'm curious of what's going to happen with her now, man, because she left Vegas and she always wanted to be in LA. She always wanted to be a Laker. And a Spark. And I was kind of like, kind of be careful what you wish for. LA is not for everybody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work out. So I'm curious of what she's going to do now because she's had some run-ins with her national team. Things didn't work out with the Sparks. So she's got so much going on off the court that I'm curious of if she's going to even play.
Yeah, she like a damn near like a she like a Giselle Bundchen model or some type shit. Like she got so many crazy endorsements and opportunities off the court because of
and she's a DJ
and how unique she. What? She DJ too?
And she DJs too. Yeah. So and she gets paid a lot of money to do these gigs. She flies all over the world DJ. So she's got like the same music that Shaq be, she does that type of DJ. So they pay those DJs. So yeah, man, and she likes doing it. So I always wish her the best, man, because she's really a good person.
And she ain't a bad basketball player.
Right. No, she can. No, from the time that I coached her to the time that till now, her game has grown a lot.
Yeah.
And then from that situation, I did like 10 years of broadcasting with UCLA. Don McClain finally went all TV. And then I had all the radio gigs from that point forward. And then I got the opportunity, Kobe's last year, to be the shooting coach for the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I hate to, I think God put me there for a reason. That situation. When Kobe first came into the league, we had the same agent. We had Arn Teller.
Okay.
He showed up to the beach, Venice Beach, the very first day that he came to LA and played in a tournament. Like, he rocked somebody and went and dunked on him. The whole beach went crazy, right? So he tried to rock the dude and do it again. This is at 17 years old. And dude was not going to take that embarrassment again. And he swept his legs and broke Kobe's wrist. That was the wrist break.
That was the wrist break. Wow.
That was the wrist break. I was there. So, and I told him, don't go out there, but you can tell that day that number one, he loved the game. Number two, he was going to be great because he was talented as hell. Number three, he was stubborn as shit. He was going to do what he wanted to do, So, I mean, but when you stubborn, great, and you work and you love what you do, it turns into greatness. So fast forward his last year to be able to rekindle that relationship because I was his teammate for a year, but to be able to rekindle that relationship with him and see his maturation from when I was a teammate and he was a kid to marriage, kids, championships without Shaq, being in the organization, his whole career. You just saw the whole growth. And I was there at the end of it. And to just be there and say, bro, you fucking did this shit. You know what I mean? You did this. And then to be able to, there were the games that he played, I would go over early with him and help him get loose, because it took him the night before to start getting loose, bro. I mean, it was hard for him to get out there and compete and try to do it on a high level and beat Kobe every night. That was tough. That last year was a struggle.
Damn.
So I'm glad that 60-point game, I'm glad that happened on the way out. But it started slow.
Yeah, it did.
But boy, when he caught that rhythm and he caught fire, it was something special to see, man.
So when you was on that team with him in 2002, what mostly did you learn from yourself, from just being around that group of guys and that coach?
Well, one thing I know is that championship teams are the same.
Okay.
They're unselfish. They don't give a fuck about nothing but winning. Right? Winning. They don't care about numbers. They don't care about none of that. Winning. That's the goal, right? Now, of course, there was, the Kobe and Shaq dynamic and the arguing over who's the man and everything. But they use that to motivate each other. That was a motivating factor between both of them because they pushed each other in their own weird way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just one thing I tried to do that year, and I failed at it. I said, damn, every time I come in here, and I'm the first one there out of most, because I wasn't playing, so I'm going to get there early, and I'm going to get my work in and be ready for practice. I had an arthroscopic hip surgery earlier that year on the other side, so I started behind, so I'm trying to catch up with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, damn, every time I come in here, he's dripping wet already.
No, Kobe.
So yeah. And he's in there with his trainer, and he's doing off-season workouts during the season. Off-season workouts during the season. So I'm like, first of all, I'm like, damn,
what the
I can't do that shit during the season, right? I mean, he's throwing medicine balls to the top of the damn gym. I'm like, okay, that's how he lasts when everybody else gas out. That's how he lasts. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to beat his ass to the gym tomorrow. I come in at 6. He's in there dripping wet. Practice not until 11. I'm like, I'm not coming in at 5. I'm not doing it.
You mean to tell me this dude is in there at 4 and 5? So you got to get up at 4 to get there at 5.
So I was like, Cole, what time you get here, bro? Man, I've been here since 4 a.m. He lives all the way in Orange County. 45 minutes, 50 minutes away, an hour away. No, he might have been an hour away from El Segundo.
Damn.
And then you wonder why he took the helicopters. Like, he got there, bro, at 4 a.m.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm sitting there like, what the heck? And he doesn't stop.
And so how does that progress from what you saw at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning? So how is he in practice when it started at 11? He's on motherfuckers' asses, ain't he?
He's on 10. He's on 10 by the time everybody walk in. And you know, most people are gassed out already. The stuff that he did. This dude is energized, ready to go.
Damn.
He was a different breed, man.
Let me ask you about Kobe, though. Why is it that it's difficult for people to put Kobe in that greatest player of all time conversation?
Man, I was looking at Gary Trent's post the other day. No, this morning. He had posted something, and they had, I think Bleacher Report did like the top 10 GOATs ever. And he wasn't mentioned. Now, no disrespect to anybody on that list. Everybody's deserving.
Mm-hmm.
But that dude should not be left out.
On any of them?
On any of them. Like, he's in the all-time scoring list. He's got the championships. He played for 20 years in one spot. He left out on a 60-point game. He's got 40 or more on every damn team that he's played against.
Yes. Wow.
40 or more is his career high on every team in the league.
Damn.
40 or more.
So what do you think it is?
He's got an 81. He's got like 5 or 6 60-point games. Like, come on, man.
So what do you think it is though? Why won't people give Kobe that respect? Because they even like with Mount Rushmore, which I absolutely hate Mount Rushmore, but you know,
because only 4 spots.
Only 4 spots, which I think is, I mean, we play a game that
ridiculous.
That has 5 players anyway. But you know, but you and again, I'm with you, man. I'm not taking nothing away from anybody. Like even when they put the top 75 list off, I was saying to myself, like, man, there's some names on this list that don't deserve to be on this list. Not taking nothing away from them.
No, not shitting on anybody.
Right. They were great in their own time.
There's much respect. Much respect to everybody.
But I'm looking at some of them names and I'm saying, Vince Carter doesn't make this list? Like, okay.
And I played with that dude.
Dwight Howard can't make this list?
Right. Orlando Dwight Howard.
His Superman days in Orlando.
Yeah, he can't make this list.
He carried that franchise to the finals.
So I look at that and I go like, is that the same kind of stuff that Kobe has dealt with in his career? It's almost like they punish him because everybody was out there trying to be like Mike. And this dude became Mike.
Right.
I mean, that's the reality. He became Mike and really surpassed him in terms of just
molded the man.
The next level of it.
He was Mike 2.0.
Yes. And it's almost like they punish him because he did that. Yeah. He did it that way.
Man, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't understand it at all. Like, I practiced with the dude. I saw him work, even worked him out. It's like his passion for the game is unparalleled, man. It's like, like even when he was done, you saw what he was doing for women's basketball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we got to take that to another level because he's no longer here to do it. We got to help. Now we got to take that to another level because he's no longer here to do it. We got to help others now too. So we got to help them.
And that was that was so beautiful to see him do that because you saw the whole Mamba Academy shit coming. Like it was building. Like he wearing WNBA hoodies. He talking about the game, taking his daughter to see Gino and the UConn them. Like you could tell that it was finna do something.
And all the top girls was coming to him for work. Sabrina Ionescu, all of them was coming. Diana Taurasi, they were all coming to him for work.
That's
like,
crazy.
How do I improve my shit?
And you
and then his daughter, Gigi,
was
Gigi was about to be crazy. Yo.
Yeah, she was gonna be next level.
That whole situation still hurt me. That whole situation still hurts, bro. It still hurts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because as I say again, man, when you play with him, sometimes he rubs you the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're fucking up, you're fucking with his legacy. That's what people don't understand. This is a team. And if you don't pull your weight, his legacy is being tarnished if you don't pull your weight too, right? So a lot of people don't understand that. And, you know, he comes at people. He pokes the bear because he's trying to motivate people to be their great self. So we can win more championships so his legacy can be even greater, right? So a lot of people never understood him. Like, he was a dude that was born in Philly but raised in Italy. Like, he didn't have the same mentality as the normal Philly dude, right? He speaks like 6 languages.
But let me ask you this about Kobe.
This dude is not coming on with headphones. He's coming on the plane with books. See what I'm saying? He was just different, bro.
But let me ask you about Kobe because you said something interesting. You said about his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Why should the guys buy into Kobe's legacy when they're trying to create their own legacy? And why should guys buy into Jordan's legacy when they're trying to build their own legacy as well?
Right. I don't think it's a buy-in to their legacy. What I think it is Kobe is different. He eat, sleep, shit, dream basketball. Nothing else. Everything else is obsolete. So everybody else, after a while, you get caught up in the lifestyle of the NBA.
The NBA want to go
We are
out.
getting to this town, and we are out. We're going to see what this town got for us, right? That wasn't him. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't him. He was like, whose ass am I busting this next game?
Damn.
Like he was trying to, create something special.
So he
And
exemplified.
he didn't understand. Yeah, he didn't understand the social part of this, go out to a club and chase and, drink, and some people smoke. He didn't understand that shit, man. What he understood was, how can I get better the next day to win championships? I'm trying to chase Mike.
It was one dude we had on our podcast, and he said that Kobe didn't talk to him, like he never said nothing to me, like for the nothing. That was Kareem Rush, or was it Brandon Rush?
It's Kareem.
Kareem
was
Rush.
my teammate. He was my teammate. Yeah.
Kareem Rush.
We came to Toronto. We came from Toronto to LA together.
He said,
that was a trade.
And I heard we didn't have him on our show, but Smush Parker. Smush Parker tells a story that Kobe didn't talk to him while he was on the team for the whole. He didn't say not a word to him.
Right.
And he was like, man,
I'm gonna tell you a story.
They was like, man, that's just how he is. If he don't, it was like, what?
If he don't rock with, if you don't have anything in common with him, he doesn't really rock with you. Like, now this is another thing. I'm speaking from his younger days now, when I was his teammate. There was a situation where Robert Horry hits a big three. We're in Washington. We're down 2. Rob hits a big three. We go up 1. Washington calls timeout. It's like 3.1 seconds left or something like that. So Kobe is guarding Stackhouse. So Phil told Kobe, don't gamble. Just play him solid, make him shoot over the top. We get out of here with the W.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe goes for the steal. Didn't get it. Stackhouse gets the ball. One bounce dribble, dunks on Devin George for game. Like, he cusses Devin George out all the way to the locker. But everybody had Dev's back on this one. It was like, dude, you weren't supposed to gamble. You were just supposed to wall up and make him shoot a tough one. So that practice, and it might have been a couple of weeks after that, the only people Kobe would talk to was Shaq and Phil. Like he would go in those modes where he's like, all right, I ain't fucking with nobody.
Damn.
He would go in those modes. But to see him at that point towards the end. Now, he was a different dude because he was more mature. He had won his championships. He's trying to ride out into the sunset. Now, Black Mamba is not trying to bite nobody anymore, right?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right. So I mean, to go on these farewell tours, man, it was like, I'm sure he felt it. You know what I'm saying? He felt it like he never felt it before, because he's used to people booing him, and he's used to feeding off of it. He's used to beating his chest like, yeah. He couldn't do that because everybody was loving it, right? So
right.
It was a different mentality every game for him that he played because he wasn't used to that. You know what I'm saying? So, but that last year, to have Nick Young, D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, it was a young crew. Like, he had zero in common with that crew.
Damn.
He was old enough to be some of their daddies. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
So he would kick it with the coaches more than he would say anything to the team, right? So he would, like if it was a road trip and, a couple of us would be going to step out for a second to grab a bite to eat or maybe a couple of drinks or whatever, Kobe will be with us.
Mm. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Made sense though.
Because he now it's just now he's messing with people on his level. You know what I'm saying? He played with Mark Madsen. He played with Byron Scott. He played with me. He respects Paul Pressey. He respects everybody else that was on the coaching staff, right? So it's like he can talk basketball with them. He can talk life with them. He can talk current events with them that these kids wouldn't know nothing about. They on the video game, right? He don't identify with no damn video game.
Right.
Right. He ain't no game. The only gamer he is lighting somebody up on the court. That's the only gamer he is.
Hey, they probably said, Cole, man, I was playing you back in 1998, man.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Man.
So that's, that was so in situations like that, I understand, man. As I say again, he bringing books on the plane. They're bringing video game consoles.
Right.
So he didn't vibe with that.
And that point, I get that clear, and I think the average basketball fan understand that because Kobe is otherworldly, man, and I think that's why it's so disappointing that it's almost like, and again, rest in peace, Kobe and Gigi, but it's almost like Kobe fan base, he's like the rock star that the albums sell more after the passing. Like Kobe has become more loved after the passing. It almost goes like, man, did so many people miss his greatness? Is that why he's so misunderstood? Because they couldn't, they missed his greatness.
No, they didn't miss it. I don't think they missed it, Will. I think they just didn't. They was not hating, but they just didn't like him. That's what it was.
No, you said it right. They were hating. You're right. No, because think of all the labels that he had. Selfish, shoot too much, stuff like that, right? They put labels on him. This is Kobe in a nutshell. He look around, see who's ready. Oh, y'all ain't ready? Okay, more shots for me. I'm ready. Okay. I put in the work. I'm over here busting my ass. Who's in here busting their ass with me? Okay, I'm shooting more shots. I earned these shots. That was his mentality.
And my thing is, tell me one great player that hasn't thought that way.
Right.
But he gets penalized for it, though.
Right. Because let's take it all the way back to his rookie and second year. He's been penalized from. Remember, I said earlier
from the shot.
You're penalized from your earlier behavior, right?
Yep, you said it follows you.
He was penalized since he was a baby in the game. So he was labeled as selfish, showboat. All of his nickname was Showboat. So he was. Think about it though. He was labeled back then as not being a good teammate, selfish, young, immature. So that followed him throughout.
But here's the only crazy thing about that though, Tracy. Though he was probably considered all those things, but there was a gap, maybe for even 10 years, that Kobe closed the Jordan door and kept the NBA alive. Like when Jordan left, I have to admit, I was one of those guys like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to the league? Right, and Kobe was like, I got it. Like,
it was the Kobe show.
It was the Kobe show. I mean, a lot of people like to say, well, LeBron and those crews was coming along. Oh no, Kobe, it was Kobe and then probably the next guy.
Was AI.
Yep.
Was AI. Yep.
Yeah.
And then you got your Vince Carter's, Tracy McGrady's.
Then Vince came and chipped in. That started the next wave.
Yep.
Right. But Kobe led that and carried.
Yeah.
Like he was the face of the league.
Yeah.
For about a decade.
Yep.
Where he was the solo face of the league.
I'm the goat of my era. I've been a trending topic. I'm as fly as a feather. My pocket's macroscopic. See, with time I get better. I'm always in the action, kid. Know I got it locked from Chicago where the toughest live. Concrete jungle, earn my stripes on the pavement there. You make it here, then you can make it anywhere. No comparison. Your game is embarrassing. No one can touch me, I'm all for going there again. Yeah, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me. Yeah, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me.
Hoop Dreams, the podcast, an Unlearning Network production. Written and produced by Arthur Agee, Will Gates, Matt Hoffer, with audio engineering from Matt Savage. For more episodes, check us out at www.unlearningnetwork.com.
Gotta be a dog to survive in this cold weather. Ice in my veins, no need for a warm sweater. I'm coming for it all, best believe I won't let up, yeah. Hey, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me. Yeah, I think I'm ballin' like I'm Will Gates. I'm hoop dreaming, trying to fight against a sealed fate. More faith, think I'm ballin' like I'm Agee. I'm box office and one day they gon' have to pay me. Yeah.